Welcome to Politics Done Right. I'm Egberto Willis, your host. We are going to have a great show for you today. In the house with us today, of course, is the one and only Stuart on engineering. Stuart, how are you doing today? I want to hear your voice. How's it going today, my brother?
I'm doing great, Egberto. Thanks for having me again.
Well, look, man, it's great having you there. And of course, we have the one and only Howard taking care of the phones. Does Howard have a mic that he can say to us, hello, how are you doing?
Good afternoon, Egberto.
Look, Howard, Stuart, we're going to have a great show today. And before we get started, I want to remind everybody that's listening right now, today is the last day of Fund Drive. So starting Monday, we are going to have uninterrupted shows, uninterrupted Politics Done Right, which means we are going to have a hell of a lot more material. But folks, please call 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. Are we going to have a show today? You bet your life, you bet everything we're going to have a show today. We're going to have a great show today because we're going to be talking about an issue here in Texas. And this doesn't only cover Texans. This covers the entire country because Texas is a template for what's happening a lot around the entire country. So remember, call and start making your pledges at 713-526-5738. Una vez más lo voy a repetir, 713-526-5738. So folks, let's start. You know, we are in the time of early vote in Texas, around the country, etc. If you are listening to the news right now, many progressives are running scared. They're saying, "Oh my God, it's going to happen again." For those of you who were alive during the midterms of 2010, it was a disaster. The largest turnover in Congress, and I don't know, I actually think it was in history, right? But folks, none of what you hear is etched in steel, is etched in concrete. It's actually you who decide. Much of what you're hearing on the mainstream media today, the intent is for people to stay home. Oh, you cannot win. It's all over. Let me tell you, the tipping point is where we are at in all of these elections. Do not believe what you're hearing on the mainstream media. People have no clue what those people that aren't polled are going to do, what those demographics that are not reached are going to do. And you know what? I'm going to hit sort of that type of story in our main issues today. 713-526-5738. Una vez más, 713-526-5738. Or you can go to kpft.org and give us a contribution. Remember, today is the last day of Fund Drive, and I have $1,000 that I have to raise in whatever increments. Just call 713-526-5738. Hit that number 1 to donate, and if you want to speak on air, hit the number 2. I would love for you to do both. Hit the number 1 to donate, and then call back again and hit the number 2, and Howard will get you right here on air. You want to discuss what's happening here in the election cycle here in Harris County or throughout the country? This is your show. In as much as I have much to cover today, guess what? You can always change the trajectory of Politics Done Right anytime you want to, because again, this is community radio and this is your show, and this is how it is going forward. 713-526-5738. One more time, 713-526-5738. Don't forget, give us a call at your convenience. Hit the number 1 to contribute. Hit the number 2 to actually speak on air. Anyhow, this morning I woke up and there is one of the chat rings that I am inside of Twitter, and a story came up, and the person, a lot of the people there were upset about the story. The story said, "Sorry, Democrats, Texas isn't a secretly blue state." And the tagline was, "The millions who don't cast ballots aren't as reliably liberal as you might think." And you know what? Let me tell you who's reliably liberal. Let me tell you who is reliably progressive. The vast majority of Americans. Oh my God, how dare you say that? Texas is a conservative state. Kansas is a conservative state. Missouri is a conservative state. Kentucky is a conservative state. Oh, wait a minute. Kansas has a Democratic governor. Oh, wait. Kentucky has a Democratic governor. Oh, wait. Oklahoma is about to likely get a Democratic governor. Wait a minute. These are the deep red areas. How could that possibly happen? It happens because in each of those places that I just mentioned, you had politicians who actually spoke to the people. You had politicians who addressed the people. So what about Beto O'Rourke against that Abbott? The one other thing that you need other than speaking to people, because I tell you, Beto O'Rourke is a hell of a campaigner. I have seen nobody work as hard as I've seen Beto O'Rourke work Texas, work all 254 counties. But Beto is one man. Beto and others who really want to make a difference need a posse. A posse, not in 250, whatever amount the counties we have in Texas, but in every single precinct is what's needed. If progressives want to execute, you don't just go where you think you're comfortable. You go wherever you need to go. 713-526-5738. So the article was in the Texas Monthly. Again, title, Sorry Democrats. Texas isn't a secretly blue state. The millions who don't cast votes are not reliably liberal. What is liberal? What is progressive? If I ask any person in this country, if I say, would you like to have good health care? Would you like to have reliable health care? Everybody's going to say yes. If you ask a working mother, would you like to be able to put your kid to have good supervised good supervised daycare, care after school? What are you going to say? What is anybody going to say? Republican and Democrat alike, they're going to say, yes, that's what I want. If you ask them, if your mother gets sick, you are 35 years old, your mother is 60 years old, your mother gets an illness, your mother wants some assistance, your mother wants some help, and you want to take some time off of your job to go ahead and do something. Are you willing? Do you want to have, as a part of our social construct, do you want your job to be held for you? I am pretty sure you do. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. Everybody wants that. Do you want to ensure that all have equal access to success? On air, let's see. On air, we have somebody. Let's see. Michael, come on in.
I don't care if you're Republican. Okay.
Turn your thing down, my dear brother.
Okay.
Go ahead, talk.
Yes. No, I wanted to just comment on the guy was telling about the liberals and conservative people in Texas voting.
Yes.
And he was it sounded like he sided with the Democrat mostly with that conversation.
Okay.
And I feel that as him being a commentator and this being a radio station, the listen, I mean, the people who's calling in should give their opinion. He should be biased on what how he feels, because what that would do is hurt what the station. Because I was going to make a donation, I was going to contribute to the station because I like the station.
Yes.
But once this guy got on and gave his opinion on where my money is heading, the direction on where my money is heading, and I don't agree with it, I feel that I'm going to keep my donation, and I'm just letting them know not to do that.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. You want your opinion heard, correct?
Yes.
And may I have an opinion as well?
Okay.
No, I'm asking you. Do I have permission to tell you what my opinion is? Great.
Sure.
I want you to know that when you listen to Politics Done Right, let me first tell you who I am. No, I tell you what. Let me ask you, who are you, Michael?
Michael.
I know.
And I'm an American. I'm an American who love America.
Great.
I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican.
Yes.
I'm just a person with a smart brain who want America back.
I love that you said that. And were you listening to me before you turned the radio down?
No.
Okay, well, let me ask you a few questions.
I just flipped it on.
Let me just ask you a few questions, all right?
Okay.
Do you want to have good health care, yes or no?
Yes, when we have good health care. I mean, we had good health care, but when they came in with the Obama bill, I think it's kind of messed everything up.
Okay.
Everything would have stayed the same. Everything would have been good.
Okay,
I lost
good.
my health insurance for my job because of that.
Good. I'm glad that you said that. All right. Let me ask you another question. Do you have kids?
Oh, yes, I have a kid.
Now, if let's say something went down with you, would you like to make sure that kid has daycare if it needs daycare? If your kid needs daycare and you can't afford it, do you still want your kid to have daycare?
Yes, if people get out their butt and go to work and like we used to and work a little overtime like we used to, they can afford to put their kids in daycare like we used to. You don't need no help from the government. Everybody trying to get help from the government.
Who is the government,
just be
sir?
a man or a woman and work and pay your bills.
Yeah, let me ask you this: who is the government?
We are. We supposed to be the government.
Thank you. Okay.
We the people.
So and how can we? Go ahead. You have the word.
Go
sir.
ahead.
No, you go.
I was saying that we are the government. We the people. We done forgot about that. We can give them control to run our lives. All we did was voted them in to go down there and talk for us because we all can't go down there at the same time.
Michael, let me ask you one other question.
We want them to be as intelligent enough to go down there and talk for us. And be biased about it. Don't worry about how you feel about how they feel about it. Go back to the people who elected you and ask them how they feel about it, and then go back to Washington and tell them this is what the people said.
All right, Michael.
This is not what I think.
Michael, I want to keep. Let me tell you what I want out of you. First of all,
okay.
You and I are on different sides of the spectrum, but I enjoy the conversation. Right?
Yes, I am too.
And so the reason why is because you and I can actually have a conversation that everybody who's listening to us, whether Republican, Democrat, Independent, or otherwise, can actually make up their minds based on the respectful conversation that we will have here on Politics Done Right. Are you with me so far?
I hear you.
Okay, so here's what I want to ask you. First of all, you said you were going to give a contribution to this station until somebody turned you off because you think they were only allowing their opinions out. So I want you to forget about that. I ask you kindly and respectfully to forget about that. You have a program now that you have free, that you can say your piece on, called Politics Done Right. And I'm going to ask you a big favor. I'm going to ask you to hang this phone up, call 713-526-5738. Select the number 1, make your contribution in the name of Politics Done Right. And I'm self-serving here, but that is how we are able to stay on air. And I want you to know one specific thing as well. You have a voice on this station. You and I are going to disagree. We are going to agree. We are going to have a whole plethora, like you agree with your wife and you disagree. Well, I'm assuming you're married. You disagree and agree with your wife, but we're going to have sensible, respectful conversation on what we all hope to be fact-based. Do we have a deal?
Oh, that sounds good, man. You know what? I'm going to do that, too, because I appreciate, like I say, I understand where you're coming from, and we just need more of this, man. We need
and that's what this show is going to be about. I turn my back on absolutely no one. So I ask you so kindly, hang this phone up, call 713-526-5738, and please contribute to our show.
Okay, I'll do that, man.
And then if you want to call back again. Let me go to the next call, and then we'll continue. Okay, sir?
Okay. All right. Thank you, man.
You have a great day now. Marcela, come on in.
Hi.
Yes, ma'am. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really good. Thank you.
What's on your mind?
Well, I was just flipping through the radio waves, and I heard you talking about, voter ID.
Mm-hmm.
And that you say they're making it really hard for especially minorities to vote.
Mm-hmm.
I find your comments highly offensive.
Okay. I didn't say that. Okay. Let me back up a second. You must have been listening to another show. I don't know if it, but okay. I haven't. My show just started at noon at noon, so I didn't say that. But I want to hear your point of view, and then I want to come back. Go ahead.
Of course. It may not be you or maybe somebody in your station everybody now is talking about how, they're making it so hard for us minorities to vote.
Yes.
Because they're requiring an ID.
Yes.
Which I find that, like I said, disrespectful because they're making it sound like we are not,
intelligent
smart enough.
Yes.
intelligent to go and get an ID. To get an ID in the state of Texas is less than $30 to get one.
Yes.
So when people say that they're making it so difficult because, for us minorities to get an ID, that is a lie.
Okay.
That's not okay. We can go and get an ID. Based on my accent, you can tell I'm not from this country.
Tú eres de mi parte del mundo. Yo sé. ¿De dónde eres?
Okay, nací en Mexico.
Okay, good. Let's keep talking. Go
I
ahead.
was born in Mexico.
Uh-huh.
So I come from a very corrupted system. And what I've seen right now happening is part of that corruption that I grew up with and I wanted to get away with.
Yes.
And as a minority, I feel like I have the right and obligation to speak up for the people that don't want to or can't speak up.
Okay, can I respond to your first part about voter ID, etc.?
Of course.
Okay, here's the thing, Marcela. You are absolutely correct. It only costs $30 to get a voter ID. And you came into this country. You're probably a naturalized citizen since you're voting, which means that
Correct.
you have all your papers together, et cetera, which is perfect. You had to do upfront all the material. Historically, and this is what a lot of people don't understand, right? Y te voy a tratar de hacer entender esto a mucha gente. A lot of the people I want to understand this. I would think like you in the past. When did I change my opinion? When I found out that in the bellies of Houston, Texas, where there are many minority communities inherently here in America, didn't have things like birth certificates and all these other issues from Jim Crow days. I mean, all of that still extends to today. These are people who have hard times getting, having been able to even find their birth certificates. People born in 1961, people born in 1965. I didn't know that until I saw programs where these people were denied their coverage. And this lady said, I am on fixed income. I know I would love to have a vote. I can't do it. Okay. So what I'm saying is the following. There isn't a problem in this country with illegal voting. And the interesting thing, como I am natural, yo soy originalmente de Panama. I'm originally from Panama. Okay. The last thing that I would do, even if I were an undocumented immigrant into this country, the last thing I want to do is vote illegally. Why? Because I'm more susceptible to be caught. Right. So this thing that they put out there, it is really, I know, unfortunately, the lousiest people in messaging are Democrats. Okay? Because there should be nothing in the message that made Marcela feel that this makes her seem less than intelligent. But that's what happens with the messaging. Pero la verdad es that if you take a look at the restrictions that are placed after 2020, they were all well calculated to hit the people who are likely to vote Democratic. You may be a Republican, I understand that, but you believe in freedom. You came and you wanted a system that worked. If you want to win Democrats, you fight for it, and Democrats don't do enough of that. If you want to win for Republicans, Republicans do it. Republicans do whatever is necessary to get the vote. Right. So I hear you. I just hope that you add to your context a group of people in this country that have always used the system to make it more difficult for them to deny. Ask yourself a question for Georgia. It happened here in Third Ward as well. How comes?
Right. Well, let me
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. Let me respond to you about that. Yes. You started saying that there's some people that they cannot find their birth certificate or documentation.
Yes.
Maybe because they moved, maybe because they had something happen in their life. I don't know. Maybe a fire in their house.
No, because they were born at home. They were born at home.
Okay, fine. Okay, which is fine. There's so many people having issues. But the comment that I hear all the time is that they're making it difficult for the minorities. Such an event as losing your birth certificate and not being able to find it because you were born at home, because you were born in early 1900s, it can happen to anybody of any color.
Yes, it could.
Right?
Yes.
I used to think I was a Democrat. The moment that I started paying attention, coming from a corrupted system makes you more aware of what you're surrounded by.
Right.
When I started seeing those people that they call Democrats, always trying to keep you under their feet because you need protection, because you need their help, because they put themselves as your father, and they're going to take care of you, so you don't have to try harder. That's when I start thinking, wait a second, there's something that is not clicking right
Marcela,
here.
I hear that story.
I call myself a conservative.
Marcela,
not so much Republican or Democrat.
Hold 1 second, Marcela. I want to keep you on the phone because you have a very important concept. But we are trying to raise some money as well. So give me a chance to do a quick 1 minute pitch, okay? And then I want to stay with you, though. Folks, please give us a call at 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. Folks, we cannot keep this station where we can have intelligent conversations, not necessarily in agreement, but intelligent and respectful conversation with our members, with our folks. And by the way, Marcela, I hope you become a member of my show on KPFT and Politics and Right, because you notice that we listen to what you have to say. 713-526-5738. Una vez más, 713-526-5738. And folks, select the number 1 to donate, the number 2 to talk to me on air. I hope Marcela, after she gets off, will call back and hit the number 1 to contribute. But Marcela, here's what I want to tell you.
Okay.
That notion of that, I hear this on Fox News. I listen to all news. I'm a left-wing progressive person who believe in unity. We only have one damn country, and we are all going to get along. And that's what I intend to do. Right. Okay?
Right.
Now, here's the deal. You brought up sort of a race issue. And what I want to say is all Americans are the same. Whether you're left wing, right wing, or not. Is there racism? Yes. On all sides, equally as well. Okay, so I don't play into the mantra of. I go to a lot of conferences, and the conferences that I have done that my color has made the most negative difference, believe it or not, has been at progressive conferences. Because when I go to conservative conferences, they want to show me that they're not racist. While when I go to the liberal ones, they know that I know they're supposedly not racist, so you don't get that.
Right.
Okay, so that is understood. Take that off the table. Let's take that off the table. Now, let's go about the nanny state that Fox News would like to talk a lot about. I don't believe in a nanny state, but let me tell you what I believe in. I believe that you should have equal access to success. Do you believe that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, if you're going to have equal...
You want to talk American dream? I'm the American dream.
There we go. And I am too. Yo soy también.
Exactly.
But how comes you and I, how comes you are way on the right and I'm way on the left? Let me explain, right?
Well,
go ahead. You go. No, you go, please.
Well, I think you're on the left. You may be younger than me.
No, I'm older than you.
Are you?
Yo tengo 61 años.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe, I had always said that you make your opinions based on your experiences.
Yes.
So maybe the experience that you had is different from mine.
Yes. Again,
coming from Mexico, seeing the corruption, seeing the manipulation,
yes,
it makes you think not to believe 100% on what people say.
True.
Especially people in power.
Yes.
When you see people that has been in power for 60, 70 years, the president that we have right now, we cannot really, I ask my friends, say 3 great things that he has done, and they can even tell me.
Right.
And the reason why they tell me they continue voting Democrat, a friend of mine that is, about to vote for the first time, she said that one friend told her that she continues voting Democrat, and she's a Democrat because she's poor. And I said, well, if she's poor after 20 years of voting Democrat, there's something wrong.
Yeah, and so you know what? No, here's the thing, Marcela. Sorry to interrupt you because I have to take another call, but I want to do this. Here's this. We have a lot to talk about on that issue. My lines are starting to fill up. And I want to give others the opportunity to call in. So I'm going to ask you the same favor I asked the last person. And that is, after you hang up, call again and hit the number 1 to give a contribution to the show so that we can keep having these conversations. But now...
Give me 10 seconds.
Yes.
Give me 10 seconds to say bye. I just want to say to all of those people listening, this is the best country you can be.
Yes.
It's not perfect, but it's the best country. I can tell you because I come from one that, I can even start telling you. But this is the best country. No, we have to agree to disagree.
Yes.
We need to stop canceling each other. This is freedom of speech has gone crazy. I mean, you can go left or you can go right, but we have to meet somewhere in the middle.
I agree.
But again, this is the best country. And I invite all of those people that hate this country, please go somewhere without $1. Live there for 30 days and see what you get. But look at the basketball lady in Russia.
In Russia, yeah.
She's probably going to spend 9. She went to the same college as my daughter, one of my daughters, Baylor. And that lady is going to spend probably 9 years in prison for something stupid. But see, that's the difference between them and us. So we need to stay together. We need to find a middle ground, and we have to stay being honest.
Marcela, and that is why I want you to, Marcela, next week, right? Starting, we are out of fund drive next week, all right? And that's why I want you to call back and give a contribution, because I have to raise $1,000 in the next hour, in the next 40 minutes, actually. So please call and give a contribution. But here's this. I'm going to remember your name. And here's it, because I want to have more conversations with you on air so that others can listen to this as well. So do we have a deal?
All righty. We have a deal.
All right. Muchas gracias. Tenga buen día, Marcela.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Let's go to Karen. Karen, come on in. Karen, whoops. Is Karen on or... I want, let's get Bill real quick then, and then I'll get to Karen. Bill, are you there? Oh, Bill got hung up. All right, Karen, come on in. Karen, are you here? Oh, we're having a little bit of phone problems. Let's get rid of Marcela. You can hang up Marcela and let's go to Karen.
Hello?
Karen, how you doing?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Okay, Marcela is still on air, on the line. Okay, let's go, Karen. Come on in.
Yeah, I'm here.
Talk to me.
Yes, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. Talk to me, my friend.
Yeah, I know. I want to say God bless America, the world greatest country.
Thank you, sir.
Marcella come here, and she has gotten the American dream, just like me and just like you, Alberto, man from Panama.
¿Eres de Panamá?
Huh?
¿Tú eres de Panamá también?
No. Me's a Jamaican.
Oh, I thought you sounded Jamaican. Talk to me.
Yeah, man. Me's a rude boy. But I'm saying you as a man from Panama.
Yes.
What I'm saying, what she don't understand is that I could tell that Marcella come to America, but at the end of the day, she don't quite understand, because she's equating this whole thing to Mexico.
Right.
No, we're not talking about Mexico. We're talking about America.
Right.
Which is relatively about America.
Right.
So
But Karen, let me just tell you, right, why I want to entertain the conversations with all sides, right? Because she said something that opens the door for a good conversation. And she says, we're living through our experience. And you as a Jamaican, and remember, yo soy panameño, but I also have Jamaican roots, right? And
I know that, my brother. That's where I get the blackness from.
There, exactly. So, I mean, therefore, there are some experiences that we have that she doesn't have. It's not her fault that she doesn't have those experiences.
Understood.
Right. So anyway, anything you want to tell me, Karen, what you want to tell me today, my dear brother?
Okay. What I want to say is that sometimes when I talk to these people, you can't use progressive and conservative.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the terms that we learn from others. When you speak to minorities, and if you want to reach them, you're going to have to equate it and break it down a little bit. Conservative, progressive, and moderate. A lot of people don't understand it.
I am so glad you said that, Karen, because you just taught me something.
Minorities don't understand it. So you got to have to, because when somebody says conservative, it puts a little... It's like a dog whistle.
I got you.
And moderate. You know what I mean?
I got you. And you know what? You hit on something that I think is important. And tell me if you agree with this. We need to refrain from using too many standard labels.
Yes, man, because those are the white men terms he gave us, man.
Okay. I'm going to take that to heart for here.
Hip-hop.
I am going to take that to heart.
Pop culture style.
Hey, but Heron, Karen, let me ask you. I'm going to tell you to stay online, but I got to do some pitching to try to raise a bit of money here. So stay with me. I don't want you to leave. And Mario, you are on too. I'm going to bring you on, but let's go to Bill because Bill and I, okay, Mario, I'm going to ask you to hold a second, Mario, and go ahead and let's get Bill on. Bill, come on in, brother. Talk to us a little bit about the Houston Peace and Justice Center, this great dinner that we're having.
Well, I'm glad to do that, Berto. And yeah, HPJC, Houston Peace and Justice Center, is having a big awards dinner celebration coming up on November 12th. And we're asking people to make reservations by next Thursday at hpjc.org. But I wanted to say something else, too, more about your show also.
Thank you.
And, you talk regularly about how many new and infrequent voters may be voting this year, and especially on issues like abortion and how, the polls may be wrong because of that. But that's kind of analogous to supporters of KPFT. We have a lot of people, a lot of listeners who don't donate, at least not regularly. And so I'm asking everybody listening to your show right now to not only vote in the public election, but vote for Roberto's show.
Thank you.
And support KPFT and become a sustainer like I am, if you can, where you have a certain amount, whatever amount you want taken out of your bank account automatically each month.
Yeah. I think that was the line.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Line.
Yeah, go ahead.
And so, it's easy to do that. Again, just dial 713-526-5738 and press 1 to make a donation. And, we need to help Gilberto raise $1,000 for this show this hour. And we need to help raise money for KPFT so we don't have to come back with another fund drive anytime soon. So I'm asking you to vote with your wallet and don't be one of the people that don't vote or who don't support KPFT. Just again, if you want to become a sustainer, just tell the people there when they answer the phone to take your pledge, or you can make a one-time pledge as well.
I really appreciate you calling in, Bill. I really appreciate you. And let's go ahead and tell them about that HPJC one more time. That the Houston Peace and Justice Center is having a dinner supporting some great folks. Actually, I'm going to make a little piece for that after the show.
Okay, well, it's Saturday, November 12th. We used to have one every year. It's our big celebration of the year with a dinner and an informal reception beforehand where everybody can visit with each other. We haven't had one for 3 years because of the pandemic, but now we're doing it again. We're asking everybody to be fully vaccinated so it could be safe for everyone. Mm-hmm. And there's a fee, but, you can find that out by going to the website and you can get a lot more details about it. It's at hpjc.org. Excuse me. I'm really, really excited about our Peacemaker awardees. Do I have a minute to talk about that?
I tell you what, Bill, I have a couple of calls that are still holding and we're running out of time. So sure. I'm going to make sure that we get that information out, though. 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. Bill, I want before you leave, Bill is one of our great volunteers here who is very responsible as well to have us on air faster than we were able to get on air at KPFT 90.1 FM Houston. So, Bill, thank you for all that you do for the station, my brother.
Well, thank you. And I hope all of your listeners will realize how people like Gilberto, we have over 100 volunteer program hosts that volunteer their time to produce these shows. So support it.
Thank you so kindly, my brother. All right, Mario, you are hot. Come on in, Mario. What did you want to say?
Yeah. How you doing? I would just wanted to spin off on what the other lady was saying. She's from Mexico or something. And I was kind of on her camp because I came here when I was about 8 or 9, and I became a citizen and all that. But I remember where I come from. I'm Guatemalan.
Okay,
and
so you're Central American like me.
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think you know the history about Guatemala, right?
Oh, yes, and the invasion, and I know the whole thing. Yes, sir.
Exactly. So it's kind of at first I used to be like, it's all this the Reaganites in the Bush era, all that invasion and the Contras and it was kind of confused over there because it really was up to the countries to take care of their own countries,
right,
and not get influenced by the U.S. no matter what.
Right.
But I kind of do agree with her. With we came over here because there was a lot of corruption over there, and it was like we don't want that, and we I know you guys are progressive for the most part, but it's kind of becoming hard to tell the line between progressive and Democrats now because I don't know if the Democrats took over or what it was, but they're now it's like the corruption are kind of mixed in with everything else.
Let me ask you a question, Mario. What station do you listen to predominantly for your news?
For the most part, I listen to a lot of
Fox News,
Michael Berry.
Yeah, no. Michael Berry
Michael Berry. As far as local.
Yes.
Now on the national level, I don't listen to Fox News. I don't listen to any mainstream media, so-called mainstream media, even Fox News. Even though some of the stuff, I agree with, but I don't because they're part of the establishment, in my opinion.
Let me ask you to do a favor because I want, it's amazing today. I'm getting a lot of conservative calls. This liberals getting a lot of conservative calls today, and I love it. Right? Here's what I want you to do. I want you to keep us on your dial. I'm here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for Politics Done Right at noon. And let me tell you why I think it is so important to have your voice on air, right? I think by the time we get into a lot more conversation, what we're going to see is that you and Marcela, I'm talking about my conservative callers now, you and Marcela, and I think another conservative called in, what's his name? I forgot his name now. Michael called in, right? And the interesting thing about it is this. You're going to find out later on that except for maybe a few issues on a woman's right, reproductive rights and etc., it's going to be so amazing how much we believe the same thing, even though the powers that be. And I call Barry a part of the power system as well. I know you think he's not mainstream, but Barry it's get paid through the same iHeart family of money on the conservative side, just like others get money. Well, the progressives are horrendous in that they don't get. I'm not progressive. Democrats don't get progressive diddly. I'm a progressive. I don't get diddly from the party or anything like that. In as much as progressives go with the Democratic Party because of that's where they sit. But what you're going to find out, Mario, is that wow. All those policies that you guys really believe in, damn, I do too, but I'm a conservative. How the hell can I do that? And that's why I want to keep the conversation going with folks like Mario and Marcela and Michael, and then my progressive brother, Kenner, who just called. We are going to have this conversation and realize that all those puppeteers that are putting us against each other, that's exactly what they have to do. Put us against each other so that we don't get the best policies out. I'm talking about the neoliberal Democrats as well as the standard Republicans. They are in the same boat. And you're going to see that as we have more conversations. Remember, we're out of fund drive this week. We started Monday. That's coming up. We have everything to talk about, and I can entertain as long as I want anybody who calls into the station. Are you with me?
Yes, sir. Can I tell you something else?
Yes, sir.
I used a long time ago. I used to donate to KPFT. I donated to Democracy Now. I donate. I used to be kind of progressive on the progressive side. But as soon as the progressives started siding with the Democrats and with the corruption, I said, you know what? And that's kind of I don't know. I guess you have your opinion of Donald Trump, but Donald Trump is talks the point that progressives used to talk about.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what I wrote, brother. What I wrote.
Independent.
I got you. I wrote a piece for the Daily Kos. I write for the Daily Kos as well. And I wrote a piece that said, Trump has become Clinton in triangulation. Because what he did is he spoke the progressive word, but he didn't execute the progressive values. In other words, you look at him from the war standpoint, you look at him from the China standpoint, you look at everything that he puts out there, the progressive parts that he put out there. And what we do is we smile. And why do we smile? Because in effect, he tells a lot of people, he used Remember how you and I started this conversation. I said I wanted you, Marcela, and all of us to talk because ultimately you're going to see that these progressive values that folks are trying to get you to hate, and you should probably know what I'm saying, that you actually want it. But look at what you just said. The progressives started siding with the neoliberals, and now it soured you, and you see how Donald Trump picks up the progressive mantra, but he didn't govern that way. In other words, if you take a look at where the monies went, if you take a look at where the tax cuts went, if you take a look at all these issues, right? You and I kept on, we still kept on holding the bag, brother. And that's what I'm trying to get. I'm trying to remove the ideological stigma. And Kenner was good in when he said, Egberto, stop using progressive, conservative, and all this stuff because you're going to start losing people. And he has a point. Because start talking about the things that you want. I sat down I want you to talk, but I want to tell you a quick story. I sat down in a Starbucks with a woman in Kingwood, and we started talking healthcare. And everything she said she wanted, and I started asking her a question, it turned out to be healthcare for all. And then when I told her that, she said, and then I kind of felt guilty because she was very conservative. I'm very liberal, very progressive, I prefer to say. And then she said, I looked at her and said, look, ma'am, I got to tell you, I'm not a conservative guy. I'm a very, very, very progressive guy. And, she turned red, and she says, but you're so nice. And she's agreeing with all the things we're discussing, right? And I said, ma'am, you see, that's what they want. You and I have to be fighting, Mario. Because if you and I are fighting, we don't see what they're doing out there. And that's what they want. 713-526-5738. Please, folks, give us a call. Support the station. Support the program. Hey, James, I'm coming back to you, Mario. James Matujek, thank you so kindly for those wonderful contributions, sir. We could not possibly do this without you. Thank you so kindly for those magical, great contributions. Mario, you have the floor.
Yes. So, yes. I agree with you. We have, I think, most Americans have the same concerns and, wishes and everything for their families. But yeah, like I said, that's why I stopped, listening to mainstream news, because it seems like they're just trying to pit Americans against each other.
There you go. So I'm going to ask you, I'm going to interrupt you right now and ask you this favor. You said you used to give to KPFT. Somebody here pissed you off. I didn't piss you off.
Yeah.
And you have a show Monday, Wednesday, Fridays that you can come to. I ask you after you hang this phone up to hang up, call 713-526-5738 again, and please support the program. We are behind, but we need your support. So I ask you to rejoin the fold. And I'm asking you this in front of the entire darn stuff. So Mario, I'm going to be looking for Mario on my chart here.
I'll consider it.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so kindly, Mario. You have a wonderful day. All right. Don't just consider it, though. Make the call. All right. Take care, brother. All right. Anyway, folks, let me get into the subject. 713-5. We got another call. 713-526-5738. I need you to call 713-526-5738 and make a contribution. As you can see, the kind of conversations that we're going to have here is open to absolutely all. Whether you are left-wing, right-wing, anarchist, conservative, whatever, this station is meant for you. All right? This station is meant for you. Absolutely so. Now we have somebody who is going to make a case for the corrupted Democrats. Anyhow, folks, 713-526-5738. Go ahead and let Ted in. It's okay. Let Ted in. Ted, how you doing?
Hey, this is Ted. Hey, so I'm on the air.
Yes, you're on the air, sir.
Okay. I'm really surprised that this guy says Democrats are corrupt when, Trump is the most corrupt president I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And the Republicans won't prosecute him.
Let me tell you.
The whole Republican position appears to be, we caught you with two 14-year-old girls and a pound of heroin, but if you're a Republican, well, you're innocent. I can't believe this.
Let me tell you about perspective, brother Ted. And it goes like this, right? And that is the reason I take the stance that I take, right? let me tell you what I did one time. You remember Rush Limbaugh?
Oh, yeah.
All right. I decided to do an experiment, and I listened to Rush Limbaugh for an entire week. And after listening to Rush Limbaugh for an entire week, I had a shift.
A shower.
No, I didn't take. Well, I hope I take a shower every day now. Come on, brother. Anyway, but here's what happened, right? Some of the stuff that Rush Limbaugh was talking about started to rub off on me when I heard a certain message. It was automatic. I heard a certain message and I said, those damn. And then I caught myself and I said, it works. It works. So the thing about it is this. I give truth. That's what I do. And if you prove me wrong in something, I'm going to admit it to you right away. All right. And it's conditioned to do that. I'm conditioned to do that now. But it's not easy for our brothers and sisters on the right side of the aisle. The psychological profiling that went into the message that Republicans put out. You get what I'm saying? Hello, you're on. Good.
Well,
go ahead.
Well, I just don't. It just seems to me that well, everybody's in their own cocoon.
Yes.
That they watch Fox and whatnot, and Fox, just basically lies.
Yes.
And
but the only way that we can get to them.
It's not a matter of having an opinion.
Right.
It's a matter of just, just making up stuff.
But Ted, they're good at it. When I watch Fox, sometimes I sit down, I'm like, why can't Democrats, specifically progressives, why can't they learn how to do that given that they have truth on their side? I say that often. So you have to.
That's true. Well, for one thing, Republicans are easy. It's easy to say the government is evil.
Right.
And that's all they say.
But did you see who I had on Monday? Somebody who was very competent in running our local government and who made government more accessible to many. Tanisha Headsped. She came onto our show and she showed what effective government could look like because she's doing it right now in our county office. And the thing about it is we're not going to, none of our Republican brothers and sisters are going to say, oh, I got it now. That's not going to happen because that's not how they got there. Okay. They have a frame of reference was made effective to them. And it could be made to you too. I know several of my friends who've gone from progressive to very Trump-like and then came back home after they were saying, God, I feel like I woke up from a dream. You follow what I'm saying? So.
Oh yeah, I've seen some people lose their minds, and I don't get it.
So we got to do that, brother. So what I'm saying to you is this now. I'm telling Ted this now. And William, I'm coming to you next. I'm telling you this, Ted. If we allow the hate that comes out of many of our Republican brothers and sisters who hate was put into them to hate us, we've allowed the plutocrats to win. And when I talk plutocrats, I'm not only talking Republican right-wingers. I'm also talking certain flavors of neoliberal Democrats as well. We have to establish in my opinion, we have to establish a modal to give people a place to land without feeling like they have to give up who they are. We have to give them a place to land. And a lot of times, many of us as progressives, we don't give people a place to land. That if they land there, it's like they have to give up their entire being, their respectability and all of that. We told you so. I don't want that. Winning, you know what winning for me is? Winning for me is us getting policies that make your life better, Brother Ted. That's what it is. Do you follow? Sure. Are you with me?
But, like one thing, for example, that what's Ivanka's the little twerpy guy, the son-in-law.
Yes, I know who you mean.
$4 billion
from the Saudis, yeah.
And the Saudis gave him $4 billion.
Yes.
And everybody was wondering, why does this guy get $4 billion? and then we discover all these classified documents.
Thank you.
And some of them are missing.
Thank you.
How am I bet you that $4 billion and that those missing documents have got something to do with each other.
Of course.
How can Republicans not see this?
Because
how can they let this man be a treasonous,
let me tell you that
evil scum?
Yes.
How can they do it?
Look, let me tell you, we've had just a few, not a lot, but your ideology can actually infringe on your ability to make a rational call. I got to go to William, Ted, but
they went after Nixon.
I know. That's another time. But hey, let me tell you something, Ted. I want you to be Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. We're here, and we don't have to pitch on the upcoming Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. So I want you back because we have to continue this intelligent conversation among all groups. All right, brother?
All right, take care.
Thank you. Now you have
me be on the air.
Absolutely. William, you are on. Talk to me.
I'm turning my radio off right now.
All right. Turn your radio off, William. Why do you have your radio on while you're listening live? Because you are now live on radio, sir. How you doing, sir?
Okay, no, I turn it off all the time, but the whole deal is you used to have it when you were on hold that you could hear you.
I know. We're going to fix that. We got an engineer that's going to be coming in to fix that.
With the conversation here.
Talk to me, brother.
I got a short period of time here to talk to you.
Talk.
You know how they say a very small group of people have made this life miserable for a whole bunch of other people.
Yes, sir.
And, well, anyway, you know, I knew the waiter that was running around with Nicole and Ron Goldman. I knew him from Plan Pool.
Yeah.
And, you know, he was, well, he fancied himself a Hollywood, you know, Jewish mafia brat.
Okay.
And he made some TV shows, some commercials when he was a child and all that. And him and his older brother were involved with them rages or whatever they called, you know, where they would rent a building. And anyway, they got involved with the game.
Yes.
You know what the game is, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, okay, so they were a very small part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand that?
Yes.
I had 1,000 people try to make me a suicidal mass murder, and I know exactly who they were and what they were all about. But not all of them were involved.
Right.
You understand?
Yes.
They knew about it, but they didn't have nothing to do with it, just like you guys don't have nothing to do with it.
Absolutely.
I think.
Hey, William, close the point for me now. I have to do a little bit of pitching before I close. But go ahead.
Well, no, the point is that, okay, you know what was in the media for the first 3 days surrounding the murder and the Bronco incident that never, ever got mentioned again anywhere?
What?
They were talking about the group sex parties, the hidden video cameras, and the organized crime people.
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly who those people are. When OJ was in the Bronco, you know, with the split screen,
yes.
I was in a pool tournament looking at him up on the TV, and I had already heard this stuff in the media, and these people had already been messing with me.
William, I love to talk to you, but I have to raise $1,000 for my show.
I understand all that. I just walked in the door. I've only.
Thank you, my brother. Hey, William, call back another time.
I'm gone. I made my point.
Love you, brother. Have a good one. All right. Okay. Folks, 713. Let's get our good manager here to make my final pitch. Come on, Sandy.
Interim. You got to use the word interim.
I am not. You're the boss man around here, but I'm not going to use the word interim, bro.
Okay. Well, I will. I'm the interim general manager. Hey, folks, we're in Fund Drive. We're doing really well today. Rourke did very well, and got a new member call in from Wallace, first time, did $1 a day. And I thought, wow, that's really generous. What a huge pledge. But then here comes James. I think he goes by Jim. Last initial M, out of Houston. And apparently you touched him, Egberto, because he made your goal all together with one fell swoop and then some. And we really appreciate that. We are trying to raise $150,000 on this October drive. We started October 5th We've had so many people step up, around 740 folks step up and make donations. And right now we're sitting at a little more than $106,000. $44,000 left to go by Sunday. Altogether, we can actually do this. Wouldn't that be crazy? Crazy to supply KPFT with 3 months of funding where they didn't have to come back and keep on asking. Crazy that this 52-and-a-half-year-old radio station, community media center, as it now has morphed into, is still around without commercials in the middle of Houston. Unbelievable. And it's all there because of everything that everybody has done, starting with James most recently and working our way backwards through 52-and-a-half years of people supporting this community media center. Egberto comes down here, and James, I'm glad he was able to touch you that way. And it's only possible because KPFT is here. So what you're giving to is not just Egberto's program. You're giving for the possibilities of truth without commercial influence. Come on. We deserve better. We deserve much better. Join in. Join the party. Come on now, a few dollars this way. There'll be plenty to go the other way in most circumstances. Don't risk your groceries. Don't risk your electric bill to support us, but do support us if you have that marginal dollar. A Big Mac won't do you no good. That gigantic coffee, get the smaller one.
713-526-5738, folks. 713. Thank you very much, Sandy. And folks, before I go, I want to give, Sandy doesn't like to take the kudos, but this guy's been busting his bejesus in this place more so than anybody else. He's been living in this confounded building. We have to give kudos where kudos are due. And of course, Howard was right there with him. And now we have you call yourself a special kind of intern. What kind of intern you call yourself, Stuart?
I'm the world's oldest intern.
He's a world oldest intern, but he's a great, great person. Of course, I always have the company of my daughter when she decides to come with me in the studio, which I just love having. 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-KPFT. Or you can go to kpft.org and supply us with a contribution. Folks, we cannot do this without you. This is your show. This is absolutely your show. If you notice the callers that came in today, you determine when it goes. Point to me when I got 10 seconds. You guys determine when and how we are going to talk, what we are going to talk about. This is your show. It's a promise I've always made. Politics done right on the noon hour on News to Know, folks. My name is Egberto Willis. This is Politics Done Right. And you know exactly how I am going to end this show. We are what? Out. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number 1, subscribe to our channel. And number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.